Thank you, Ms. Masivi. Greetings to all of you, and greetings to the Deputy Public Protector, Ms. Advocate Kevin Malunga, the Chief Executive Officer of the Public Protector South Africa, Mr. Temba Mteto. Thank you to all of you for joining us at short notice. As the spokesperson has already clarified, the purpose of this briefing is twofold. The first is to clarify some issues emerging from the statement made to the nation on Tuesday, November 3, 2013, by the Secretary General of the African National Congress, ANC, Mr. Gwede Mantashe. As we all know, the ANC is also the governing party in our democracy. What it says carries a lot of weight, and therefore, when there are any distortions, they need to be clarified. We also seek to provide you today with a status report on where we are with the Nkandla investigation, why we're where we are at this stage, and to provide you with a roadmap on how the investigation will unfold going forward and the timelines for that process. In this regard, I request that you recall that a roadmap was given to the nation, and we outlined that roadmap on the 20th of November. I will elaborate on that roadmap as I go further down with this address. Before I proceed, kindly take note that the media briefing to release the Public Protector reports that was pre-scheduled to take place tomorrow is going ahead as planned. I apologize for its postponement last week. Incidentally, 2 of those reports have since been leaked. You will agree with me that there is nothing my office has benefited from postponing the release of reports and then having them leaked to the media. If anything, the leak is likely to undermine an informed dialogue on those reports and therefore minimize their impact. You are aware that I have since decided that full provisional reports will no longer be given to affected and interested parties. This decision was communicated in a media release that was issued on Monday. Please read it so that you may establish on your own what we said and what we didn't say. The first thing I would like to address is what I believe to be shared values between myself and the Secretary General of the African National Congress, as discerned from the statement he made to the nation yesterday. These are the values that my team and I believe in, which we believe were carried out in that statement. 1, provisional reports should not be disseminated to the general public, as they do not communicate my findings and final thoughts on remedial action. That is how our understanding has always been, and that is how we operate. Until about a week or 2 ago, the leaking of provisional reports had disappeared from our landscape. I had assumed that this was because I have always appealed to journalists and editors not to publish provisional reports or documents purporting to be provisional reports from my office. I just want to indicate that there's no legal provision that says that I should conduct investigations in camera. The Act gives the power to any public protector to decide whether investigations will be conducted in public, and whatever allegations made would be made in public, like they do with commissions. we make a choice to conduct these proceedings in camera. We therefore make a choice also not to disseminate provisional reports to the public, because that doesn't serve any good purpose. The second value is that affected and interested parties should be given an opportunity to address the public protector, whoever he is or she is, on his or her findings before they are made available to the public. Even though this is not a right, it is a practice that is embraced by ombudsman offices all over the world. And in our case, this practice is in line with Section 7, subsection 9 of the Public Protector Act. The third value is that the Public Protector has no role in politics. It is not the place of the Public Protector to advise or influence the exercise by the people of South Africa of their rights to choose political parties they would like to govern them. I am certain that this is a right of the people of South Africa, that the people themselves are fully aware of. I also believe that the people of South Africa would guard this right jealously against any interference. I have no interest to interfere, nor do I have an intention to interfere with this exercise of a fundamental right in a democracy to choose who is to govern you. I also want to assure the people of South Africa that I have never interfered with their right to decide who should govern them. The fourth value, emerging from the Secretary General's address, is that reports should be issued as soon as they are finalized. This is something I have pursued despite our limited resources. I will get back to the issue of why this report remains incomplete and why it is not ready to go to the public. In his statement, the Secretary General appears to suggest that I and my office have acted in violation of these values. To say I am saddened by how he has applied these values and arrived at the conclusions he announced yesterday is an understatement. A closer look at his statement shows that he arrives at this conclusion purely based on incorrect information. Among other things, it would appear that the Secretary General did not have the opportunity to be briefed by the security cluster ministers about where the process is and why it is where it is. Let's start now with the incorrect statements that were made yesterday and then indicate the truth that you can verify yourselves because the truth is in documents. Incorrect statement 1. The Deputy Secretary General, who accompanied the Secretary General at the media briefing yesterday, said, I said that my office leaked the draft report on security upgrades at the President's Nkandla residence to the Mail and Guardian. The truth is, the statement she claims to rely on, which is a statement my office released on Monday, November 2, 2013, says the exact opposite. Please read the statement yourselves. Incorrect statement number 2. The Secretary General says, I now have the final report, but I have decided that I will not release this report until around March next year, and he suspects that I'm doing that in order to influence the elections. He also stated that the provisional report was issued and shared with affected and implicated parties. The truth is, I have never shared a provisional report with affected and implicated parties on the Nkandla investigation. You will all recall that all that has happened to date is that a draft provisional report was given only to 5 security cluster ministers. It was an electronic version of the report, and all 5 of them were given passwords. No other person was given that report, whether as an affected or implicated party. That very same draft was submitted to a judge in court when we had a court process. It is the ministers that announced to this nation, through you, the media, that they had given that report to teams of officials in their departments to assist them with the security assessments. Ladies and gentlemen, in terms of the roadmap I announced on the 20th regarding my intended engagement with security cluster experts on the security concerns presented to me on receipt of the draft provisional reports. I was only sent the names of the security officials yesterday after close of business. Just before 6 yesterday, I received a letter from Minister of Police indicating to me a list of officials that he proposes that I engage with on the security issues. Until then, I could not proceed because I had only had my version of the document and was waiting for this opportunity to engage. This morning, I have since written to the minister indicating that my team and I are ready to engage with those security experts on Friday this week. My team and I remain committed to the roadmap we announced to this nation on the 20th. We have not sought to do anything. We have not sought to drag this thing towards the election. This nation is aware why this report has dragged until now. We did everything that was humanly possible to conclude this report long ago. We have also indicated that we will not give the report to interested or affected parties because of the leakages. The statement that was released this week on Monday indicated that we will engage each party based on their interest in this report. If you are someone I have made or intend to make adverse findings against, I will only engage you on my intended adverse findings and show you the evidence that I have currently that I believe allows me to make adverse findings against you. If you are a complainant, I will only engage you on aspects of your complaint that I have not upheld or do not intend to uphold because I don't have evidence, to give you an opportunity to try and persuade me otherwise. Because this whole process of engaging with a provisional report is simply to allow parties to get a second opportunity to persuade me on their version of events. That is all it is supposed to do. Incorrect statement number 3. I've already indicated that the Minister announced to this nation that I'm sitting with a provisional report that I intend to release around March next year. Firstly, I have never said I will release a report in March next year. I presented a written roadmap that was very clear that we will just exhaust each step. These are objective steps. We will consult with a security expert. We said that would take about 10 working days. It could take 1 day, it could take 2, but we were saying we will give it up until 10 working days. From there onwards, we would consult with affected and interested parties. That would be only complainants and respondents. We said that would take about 10 working days. And then based on that, and should I deem it necessary, I would review the report. I would like to announce that from our side, we have now reviewed the information that was given to us by ministers regarding the security clusters. And as soon as we concluded that process, I wrote to the minister reminding him about the names that I needed, and I got those names last night. And as soon as I got those names, I have acted. And should those officials be able to join us this Friday, the process will be expedited. All of my statements have been consistent around exhausting processes. There's never been anything other than exhausting processes. How this has now been linked with the elections, it is unclear to me, but as I've said, that it is possible that wrong information has been fed to the maker of the statement. Incorrect statement number 4. Incorrect statement number 4 is similar to statement number 1, where I have said that it is said that I admitted responsibility for leaking the first purported provisional report. You will recall that there's been 2 instances where a media house has claimed that it has a provisional report, the Nkandla report. First one was independent newspapers, Monday 2 weeks ago. The second one has been this one. But the first one, again, it's a written media release from the media house. The truth is that the article itself said that 2 senior officials from the security cluster ministries informed the author of that article that I had made certain conclusions and I had cleared the president. The issue then I raised with the Sunday Times as I was commenting on this matter was that it is wrong to leak reports, whatever the version, whether it's a version with the independent newspapers or the version by the Sunday Times. We should just condemn the leakage of reports. In any event, what are the chances that I have 2 different provisional reports? I have never endorsed any leaked report. As I know now, there are 2 versions of leaked reports that are circulating out there. The roadmap. We're committing to the nation to indicate that the roadmap that we announced on the 20th of November remains our guide going forward. The only thing we are changing from that roadmap is that complainants and affected parties will no longer be allowed to see the whole report. Because we had said we would invite parties to come and look at the report in its entirety, but at our offices. Because of the leakages, each party will only be shown what is applicable to them. So from now, we will not be giving affected and interested parties provisional reports. We will give affected parties snippets of potential adverse findings against them and give them an opportunity to engage on those. And with regard to complainants, we will be engaging them on whatever has not been substantiated by evidence.
Know more. enca.com